My name is Beezito, and you're watching the weekly tech roundup. We have some pretty interesting articles this week, so let's head on to our first one. In our first article here, we have something pretty interesting coming from the United States. In the US, they're trying to put something pretty interesting together, and it's the GAIN AI Act. And basically, as you can see here, it says NVIDIA and AMD could be forced to sell their GPUs to American customers first before exporting them to other regions. So, interesting take on how to do business and how to implement that on companies that I guess are private themselves. So, bit of an interesting take here. And if we scroll down a little bit here, it says the idea is to stop universities, startups, and small businesses from waiting months to get hardware. And NVIDIA has pushed back on this, saying that the so-called chip shortage doesn't exist, and if it goes through, it could mean that the US dominance is weakened in the GPU market by slowing down global adoption. Right now, it's focused on AI chips, but there's a chance GPUs for consumers could get dragged into this. So, bit of an interesting take here. We also have Reuters saying this as well, and an NVIDIA spokesperson said, "We never deprive American customers in order to serve the rest of the world." So they're implying that there are enough GPUs to go around. So, it's a bit of an odd take, but I guess it's to limit, it says here, in terms of the actual compute power that the other countries have. So, interesting thing that's going on here. And what do you guys think of it? Is this good for consumers? Is it bad? Let me know what you think in the comments. Now we're heading over to Intel's territory, and we have something pretty interesting here with Intel launching the Arc Pro B50 graphics card at $349 US. It's a low-power workstation card with 16 gigabytes of memory and 128-bit bus, but just running at 70 watts TDP. So no external power connected needed, of course, and it's aimed at smaller form factor builds. It's easy to think of it of just an entry-level workstation card. Now, I did see a review from a Level 1 Tech's video as well, and he has a pretty interesting review if you guys want to check it out. Linked in the description, of course. And he shows that it can perform better than the A1000 card from NVIDIA in some tests. So it's quite interesting on how well it does. Now, I'm not too well versed into the workstation card space, but let me know if you guys use this in the description. Now, I'm not too well versed into the workstation card space, but let me know if you guys use it and if it's good value for money at that $349 price point. Speaking of graphics cards, we have an article here with a pretty interesting statistic on graphics cards. NVIDIA's discrete GPU market share reached 94% in Q2 of 2025. They also have here that shipments have jumped 27%. So this is from John Petty's research, and we also have the original article here as well that shows the graphs and all of the different shipment rates. So it's quite interesting to see what's happened. So we can see that shipments were overall up for Q2 by 27%, and unfortunately it doesn't look like the RX 9070 XT and RX 9070 have moved much of the needle for AMD. So it's kind of interesting that the market share has actually gone up for NVIDIA compared to AMD, but of course NVIDIA is doing quite well at the moment, especially with the Blackwell cards, and the full article is here on the website as well if you guys want to take a look and see what it has to offer. So overall, I guess it makes sense so far. And going forward, let's just hope that there's more offerings from AMD, but as is what it is, and these are the numbers that we have at the moment. Going back to AMD's side now, we have the 9070 GRE up to $100 cheaper in China. So this is quite interesting, and of course it's for the 12 gigabyte model, and it relates to last week's article that we covered in the last video with the 16 gigabyte model maybe coming out later this year. So is this them looking to clear out these cards, or to just do a little bit of price segmentation between the 12 and the 16 gigabyte model? I think that's good. At least there is a bit of movement here, but not exactly relevant for the rest of the world. But it's nice to see that there is a potential for the 16GB model to be the same price as the 12GB model, and the 12GB model getting cheaper. I don't know if these will be global, but hopefully they are later on. But a little bit of a small article to cover, but hey, it is what it is for now. I just hope that these cards can get out to the rest of the world. Heading over to AMD's CPU side, I saw on Reddit a user called Red You're Dead on the r/ASRock subreddit says that they have a second dead 9800X 3D. Now this is from 6 days ago, and he says the motherboard most likely killed the 9800X 3D. What are the chances ASRock will reimburse me for killing 2 CPUs? So he was using a B850i Lightning Wi-Fi. He says here as well that the first one lasted around about 6 months, and the second one only about 2 months on different BIOS versions. So guys, if you are using an ASRock board, please don't use a 9800X 3D for now. There still seems to be issues going forward. We're not really sure what it is. There are BIOS updates that have supposed to fix the problem, but yeah, even me, I have a ASRock X870 Taichi Lite with a 7800X 3D. I will not be putting a 9800X 3D in this board, just for my own precaution, if that makes sense. So yeah, it is still happening occasionally. We still see these on Reddit. I don't know if they're real or not. I'm pretty sure they are. It's very unlikely people would lie about this, but just a quick side note for you guys. A small one for AMD as well. We have the Ryzen 5 9500F officially launching in China, looking anywhere between 7 and 24% faster than the 7500F in gaming. Interesting that this has been released. It seems to have a decent specification list, so we can have a look here. 6 cores, 12 threads, up to 5 gigahertz, and a base clock of 3.8 with 32 MB of L3 cache and a TDP of 65 watts, which is quite low. Only thing is, I question the price. So the price over here is around about $181 US. Now on AliExpress you can probably get the 7500F for cheaper, and there are other chips that you could get, like this 7600 for example, and there are a couple of other chips that you could get instead. Interesting to see what this plays out into the future, but I guess at least we have another CPU option for now. Heading over to the Steam hardware survey for August. This one's quite interesting to me, and we see some big shifts, I guess. So the RTX 5070 is now the most popular RTX 50 series graphics card and is already in the top 20 GPUs on Steam. And we can have a look over here as well on the actual Steam hardware survey. I find it interesting as well that the RTX 3060 is still here right at the top, and the 4060 is also there as well. I will be doing a benchmark for the RTX 3060 coming out this week or next week, so keep an eye out for that. And on Tom's hardware as well, we have that 32GB might become on track for the new majority for gamers. Kind of interesting. I myself also have 32GB, and I definitely need that for my workload. It really feels like the sweet spot going forward, and especially with some games using so much RAM, 16GB isn't cutting it as much. Interestingly enough as well, Windows 11 has passed the 60% mark, which is quite a bit, and if you guys as well want Windows 11 at a cheap price, use code BEZ50 linked in the description if you guys want to have a look at keysfan.com. Little plug there for Keysfan, there you go, so that's all good. And I guess interestingly enough, finding that the 4060 is up there as well as the 3060 still being up there, and the RTX 5070 being the most sold 50 series NVIDIA GPU at the moment. What do you guys think about it? Is 32GB the most needed at the moment? Can you still be okay on 16GB? And is that 5070 surprising to you guys? I think it sounds about right from what I understand about the market at the moment. But let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. And last but not least, we have Hollow Knight Silksong bringing down multiple game stores. So I was actually awake when this happened the other night, so it was like, what, 2-3 a.m. in New Zealand, and I was just having a look at the Steam store. It wasn't loading. I was looking to see if I could play Hollow Knight Silksong, and yeah, the store was just crashing. It wasn't loading whatsoever, and quite a few people experienced this when the game released. There's an article as well from Polygon here stating that it took down Steam, the Nintendo eShop. I think I heard some people saying the Xbox store as well, the PlayStation store was lagging, but yeah, it kind of seemed like multiple platforms went down. But from this article, it definitely says here Steam and Nintendo eShop. Interestingly enough, the game is pretty good. I have played it on my Asus ROG Ally Z1 Extreme. If you guys want to have a look at that video, it'll be linked, I guess, in the description or in the top right corner on the little information icon there. Really fun game. I recommend you guys have a play of it. I personally did not play the first game, but I found this really fun to play. A little bit challenging to pick up for the mechanics at first, but super simple game and very, very fun to play. So overall, that kind of covers all the news that I have for you guys for this week. Have I missed anything? Let me know in the comments, as well as what I can improve on. I hope I'm not as nervous as I was last week. And let me know what you guys are thinking about this news that you've heard. How do you feel about the 9800 X3Ds still breaking on some motherboards, as well as the Gain AI-X, which might make NVIDIA and AMD sell to US customers first and then to the rest of the world? How would that work out? Let me know in the comments. I have no idea myself as well. So that about sums up everything. Check out WhyCry for some more awesome content. But other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.